Well, good afternoon and welcome to Mondays with Michael live here on Facebook. We are back live today. Everybody's wondering why we're going live. Well, part of it's because, yep, it's officially gone. So, for those of you who've been following me since the lockdown, I promised that when live sports came back, specifically baseball and hockey came back to play, that I would kind of lose the beard. And being kind of a man of my word, I said it was time. Yankees are doing well. Very happy with the Yankees how they look so far. Capitals start today, so if you're a Capitals fan, they start today in their playoff run. So beard came off. I had some pictures on Facebook, so if you saw, check it out. So today I just wanted to give you an update on, I know I've done a couple of these on the reopening, so I want to give you some thoughts on the reopening, how that's going with some of our clients, and then ongoing training and development. What's out there? What's happening in the training and development world now that, we're not all back yet. Some people are starting to trickle back, but we're not all back yet. So what's happening in the training and the development field? So as always, I will go to my notes. Let me tell you that there are clients of ours who are heading back. I have a couple clients who are heading back. They're heading back safely. They're heading back distance. They're doing the testing on the way in, temperature checks, contact tracing if needed. But they are heading back. They are heading back. So some clients, depending on what part of the country they're in, they're starting to head back. Some of them are starting to do some training, socially distance. I know some are doing coaching online via Zoom, but there are coaching things going on in the workplace. So I would say little by little things are starting to happen back in the workplace. But there are quite a few folks still working from home, still working from home. And my thoughts are that eventually, whether you go in waves or you go in a little more than just a wave, there's going to be a lot of hoteling happening in organizations. I don't see people parking in organizations a lot for the rest of the year. I see them maybe if they go back in waves, they'll be hoteling. And that's where you come in, you borrow an office for a day, you leave, gets cleaned out, someone else comes back in the next day. So you may see some of that waving in and waving out as we get into the fall. Um, and then with the whole school thing, a lot of parents will still be working from home. So I know that there are a lot of clients of ours who are making, case by case basis with parents who have kids at home, trying to do that home from school thing. So it's going to be, kind of catch can, if you will, moving forward. But let's talk about training. What's happening in training? So if you work for an organization or you believe, like I do, that you should be a lifelong learner, then the training doesn't stop. Though it may have paused for a while when we started the lockdown, but a lot of our clients are back training fairly regularly. They're taking a lot. I give credit where credit's due here. A lot of my clients, my colleagues in the training space are taking what they've done in the classroom and they're rebuilding it for the virtual world. And they're doing an awesome job of doing that. I can tell because they're doing a lot of this stuff, a lot of stuff that we offer them. They're doing it virtually. And so I have a lot of clients that are delivering this virtually. They're delivering 5 behaviors virtually. They're doing a lot of the leadership development training they do in the classroom virtually. And it seems to be working out. It seems to be working out. People realize that if you're going to be a lifelong learner, that the COVID isn't going to stop you from learning. So that's going. And then a lot of our clients are doing compliance training. So this is a good time of year to do the required online training, whether it's harassment. We do a lot of harassment training online. And if you're looking for that, let us know. A lot of diversity training. There's a lot of diversity training going on right now, and safety training. So a lot of our clients are doing that compliance training. They have to do every year. They're doing it now while folks are at home. They don't usually do those in groups, but you can. Most of those are online courses that people can take by themselves on their own. They're usually less than an hour. Employees can take them. It's a kind of a check off for the HR department. So if you need some of those, let us know. But I know a lot of clients are doing that also. But a lot of our clients are also doing team training because obviously working in a team virtually is different than working in a team face-to-face. So we're our clients and we're offering team training in the virtual space. How do I work with my colleagues that are not, connected in the same office where I can't run down the hall and have a little chat with them? And so we're still doing a lot of that. We're also doing some time management training because believe it or not, I saw a news story today. The Bureau of Labor Statistics said that people are working 50 minutes longer at home than they did in the workplace. So almost an hour more that you're working. And based on what I'm seeing with my colleagues, and are hearing from my colleagues, I'm seeing with some folks, folks, we talked about this. You can't Zoom from 9 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. You got to give your folks a break. you got to eat, they got to be able to do the work. And I think that's backing off a little bit, but based on what I heard today, I'm not sure if that's happening. And again, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of our clients are doing leadership training and supervisory skill training. I mean, let's be honest, people are still being promoted during this time. If you're going from a frontline worker to a manager or a leader, you need some skills along the way. And so again, a lot of our clients are restructuring that classroom supervisory skill training to be delivered online. We're also asking to do that. Again, time management is really important here for leaders and managers. You can't overburden your direct reports with tons and tons of Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting. Give them some time to get the work done. Give them a break. They got to eat lunch. Take a cup of coffee. So we got to do all that. So as far as ongoing training, this is also a really good time. We've talked about this before. It's a really good time to get that extra certification. Get that, get that certificate program. And whether it's through a professional association, like for us, it'd be ATD or SHRM, it could be specific to your industry. It's very, very important to make sure you stay up on your accreditations and your certifications. Take those classes online. But what I'm seeing is a lot more companies, as they're recruiting on campus or they're recruiting off campus to get folks to work for their organization, they're changing the requirements a little bit. It's not so much the 4-year degree from a university that gets you into the door now. Now it's more skills and certification. I mean, if you have the right technical certifications and the right skills, the opportunity for you to get into the door and get the job may be greater than just a 4-year degree in whatever at some university. And based on what's happening in higher ed right now, I think you're going to see more of that. I think a lot of folks are going to say, do I really need to spend that time and the money at a 4-year institution where I can go to a, community college, or I can go to a 2-year school, get a really, really sought after certification or accreditation, and really get into the workplace. And then if I want to go back later, get some more courses, maybe get my master's down the line, happy to do that. But you may not need that 4-year degree the way you needed it maybe 10, 15 years ago. And again, a lot of organizations are taking that line right off the job description. Right off the job description. So let's talk a little about the remote workforce. How long do we think this is going to be the way it is? And again, I think for some folks, this may last a while. I'm seeing stories on the business channels that there are organizations that are giving employees until early spring next year to work from home. So if you're an HR person and you're a training person, or you run an organization that has leadership development programs that are done in groups, how do you restructure those for the virtual world? Now, there are good ways to do that. There's a lot of good best practices out there that you can glean from. We, as a general rule, don't try to keep those groups that we're doing virtually to 20 or less. You don't want to do a training class on the web with Zoom with more than 20, because you know what's going to happen. People are going to start checking their email. They're going to divert. They're going to do all kinds of different things. So what we recommend is 20 or less. Have everyone keep the camera on, because when you keep the camera on and you're focused, you're not apt to go away and do other things. The program needs to be as participant-centered and as engaging as it would be in the classroom. So polling, short video clips, breaking people into small rooms, Q&A, having a producer on the back end helping you do all that stuff on the back end will help quite a bit. So if you're a trainer, try not to do this by yourself unless you have to. Have a co-presenter doing some of the things in the back room. But you can do this. I mean, our clients that are doing this successfully are keeping those standards. They're running those smaller classes. They're doing a really good job of engaging their audiences, and we're getting really good feedback from them on how they're using some of the tools we provide virtually. So it's still possible to do. So the learning doesn't stop during this time. The learning for the organization and the learning for you. If you unfortunately have lost your job right now, it's a good time to get certified. It's a good time to get accredited. It's a good time to take the next step in your career. If you want some tips, if you're getting into the HR training space, message me. I can send you in a couple of different directions as far as getting some certifications and accreditations. So I see we're coming to the end of our time. I want to thank you for hanging out with me live. I may do some repeating here over the next few weeks, but I will come back to you live without the beard for now. This is Mondays with Michael live here on Facebook. Make it a great week.